It is a very hot, humid day today here in Ohio. I'm starting to second guess whether recording these outside is a good idea or not. But it's a nice bench. It's under a nice tree, got some nice shade. So it just feels like a good place to talk about books. So that's what we're gonna do today. We'll get right into it. I don't have anything major planned for today. Just wanted to give a little update on where I'm at with it and kind of my thoughts on this book and kind of a brief update on where I'm at in the extended Dark Tower reading order. And then after that, I wanted to talk about what I'm reading next and why I'm taking a pivot from the Dark Tower series and from Stephen King. So we'll get into that right now. So I want to talk about where I'm at with It, Stephen King's It. I mentioned a couple videos ago that I am currently reading It. And I've just passed the 1,000 page mark. I don't know if you can see my bookmark from there. Just passed 1,000 pages, and this book is nearly 1,200 pages, just shy of 1,200. And I'm in the home stretch, and I think I'm ready to be done. I think I've just been in Derry a little too long, ready to read a new story. Not to say I haven't enjoyed the book. I have. But if you've ever read any long Stephen King books, you know he sometimes meanders and moseys on to the finale. So not all bad. Lots of really, really good stuff. I will do a video here soon, a more formal, I don't want to say review. It sounds pretentious. I'm not a critic. But just my thoughts on It. So I'm probably finished this weekend. And then maybe within the next week or two, you can expect a more formal video about It. But I am reading It as part of the extended Dark Tower reading order. And so I just wanted to give you all a kind of a brief update on where I'm at in the Dark Tower series. I had mentioned that in the first video that I'm currently making my way through this series with the extended reading order, which spans about 20 to 23 books. Some books people think are optional. So I'm kind of picking and choosing which optional books I actually read. As an avid Stephen King fan, I will read all of them one day. But for this experience, I'm reading kind of a core selection that's been recommended by a lot of people for the Dark Tower. I started the Dark Tower, The Gunslinger, back in high school. I got the first 3 books for Christmas. And I started The Gunslinger, I read The Gunslinger, and I wasn't vibing with it. Just wasn't connecting with the story, and so I just decided to give it up after the first book, which I know may sound lame, but it just wasn't doing it for me. And it wasn't until about 2 years ago that I decided, you know what, like, I need to just do it. Everyone loves the Dark Tower series. The fans love it. It's great. It's touted upon for a good reason, right? So let's revisit the Dark Tower. So I wanted to do it right, though. So I wanted to do the extended reading order, and that began with The Stand. Not even the Dark Tower book, but The Stand. So that was my second time reading The Stand. Great book, by the way. Doesn't need me saying that. And then I went into The Gunslinger again, and I loved The Gunslinger. Reading it this time, the second time, I guess, it resonated a lot more. I loved the mystery, the intrigue, and it was really good. And then, so I immediately went into Drawing of the Three, and I was a bit let down by Drawing of the Three. It did not have the same tone as The Gunslinger, which was a weird pivot by King. That's not to say it wasn't a bad book. It was a good book, but it felt like a completely different type of book than The Gunslinger was. So my expectations for what the Dark Tower was going to be was uprooted quite a bit by Drawing of the Three. And then went into The Wastelands, and The Wastelands has been my favorite Dark Tower book so far. That's book 3. And then read Wizard and Glass, Wizard and Glass was really good, an essential backstory for Roland, and told really well. Very compelling story of his past. And then I just finished Wolves of the Calla about a month ago, and that's probably been my least favorite of the series so far. A bit of a drag, to be honest, just kind of slow-paced, and I get what King was going for, but it just didn't totally work for me. And then that sets up Song of Susanna, which is book 6 of 7. And so a lot of the commentary around Song of Susanna is people don't generally rank it too high in the Dark Tower. And so I fear I've let some of those comments and perceptions kind of influence how I think about it before even going into it, which I hate. So I feel kind of like I'm dragging my feet starting Song of Susanna. So, but nonetheless, I'm this close to the end. I'm going to finish it. Hopefully this fall will kind of be that last run to the end, to the tower. So that's where I'm at with the Dark Tower. So it's been a really good series. I have enjoyed my time with it. The extended reading order has been super fun, and so much fun just to find those little connections in those other books that kind of either play into major plot lines, or even if it's just world building for the Dark Tower and its universe. It's been really fun. So all that said, I spent just a little bit too much time in Midworld in a series. I kind of want to read a standalone book, which leads me to what I'm going to read next here after I finish it. And that is Angel Down by Daniel Kraus. This is a newer book. I think it came out in 2025. It won the Pulitzer, which I don't really know much, but I think that's a good thing. But Angel Down is about a troop of World War I soldiers who stumble across a fallen angel on the battlefield, who I'm assuming was struck down during the fighting. If that's not a hook, then I don't know what is. That sounds really interesting, really fun. So I'm really excited to read this. I don't really know much else about it, to be honest. I like to go into stories a lot of times not knowing a whole lot, whether it's books or movies, TV shows, whatever it might be. The less I know going in, usually the more rewarding the experience. So I don't watch movie trailers. I don't do a lot of research on books before I read them. Obviously, with a few exceptions, like I just mentioned Song of Susanna, I have heard enough about that to have some perceptions formed before I even read it. But I just find that that's a really rewarding way to approach storytelling. Just the complete surprise, ready to just be taken for the ride of what story the author's trying to tell. And I think Angel Down, I do know that it's written in a really unique way. And I think that's part of the reason why it won the Pulitzer, is it's written in all one sentence. So there's no like period breaks or anything like that. It's just thought after thought after thought. Even between chapter breaks, it's just one continuous sentence. So it sounds a bit exhausting, to be honest, but I'm here for it. I think it sounds fun. It sounds like a really cool experiment. And one of my film professors, he always said, if you're going to break the rules, do it for a reason, or something along those lines. And yeah, so what's the reason? You know, is this just being pretentious, or is it actual storytelling mechanic for writing it this way? So I think that'll be super interesting. I'm really excited to check out Angel Down. And another book by Daniel Kraus that I can't wait to read is Whale Fall. This one is being made into a movie, so you've probably heard of it. But it's about a diver who goes looking for like his dad's remains in the ocean, and he accidentally gets swallowed by a whale. I don't really know how you accidentally get swallowed by a whale, but anyway, that sounds awesome. So maybe I'll be a big Daniel Kraus fan. We'll see. But really excited to read Angel Down. One of my favorite things about reading in general is not knowing where a story is going to take you, whether it's a 1,200-page Stephen King novel or a 200-page literary experiment, like the case of Angel Down. I'm just excited to see an author fully commit to an idea and see it to fruition. So I'm along for the ride. Excited to see if Daniel Kraus can stick the landing with Angel Down and its unique writing style. So I'll let you know. So stick around. But I want to end with a question for you guys. Let me know, is there a rule-breaking book that you've read that stuck with you? Let me know down in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.